Michael Hawthorne leaned back in his leather chair and ran a hand through his dark hair. He had spent the entire morning on calls, signing documents, and attending meetings. By the time he left his glass office on the 52nd floor, the city sun was dipping low, casting long shadows across the streets. He checked his watch and sighed. Dinner was late again. Across from him, in her wheelchair, sat his daughter Lily. She was 8 years old, with big brown eyes that seemed to see everything, even the things adults tried to hide. Her curly hair framed her small face, and she wore a soft pink dress that Michael had bought for her earlier that day. Lily had cerebral palsy, which made her movements slow and unsteady. She could not feed herself, and even simple tasks that other children did easily took her much longer. "Daddy, I'm hungry," Lily said softly, her voice tinged with patience that Michael knew was far older than her years. Michael's chest tightened. He hated these moments. He hated feeling helpless. He wanted to fix everything, but money could not fix Lily's struggles. No amount of wealth could teach her muscles to obey her brain or make daily life easier in the way he wished it could. "We'll eat soon, sweetie," he said, forcing a smile. He pushed the wheelchair toward a quiet corner table in a small, family-style restaurant. The place was popular, with laughter and the clatter of dishes all around, but it was not luxurious. Michael didn't care. He wanted somewhere simple, somewhere Lily could feel relaxed. He noticed how other diners looked at them briefly. A wealthy man with a child in a wheelchair often drew attention, and he did not like it. Michael hated the silent questions that came with their stares. Can he handle her alone? Does she need more help? He felt judged every time. As he helped Lily settle in at the table, her small hand brushed against his. "Daddy, can I try soup today?" she asked. He nodded. "Of course, baby. Let's see if you like it." The waitress approached, a young woman with bright eyes and a friendly smile. Michael noticed her quickly. Something in her manner was warm, different from the polite but distant service he was used to. "Good evening," she said. "Can I start you off with something to drink?" Michael ordered water for Lily and black coffee for himself. As the waitress nodded and walked away, he glanced at Lily. She tried to hold her spoon, but her grip was unsteady. The soup wobbled dangerously as she lifted it to her lips. A few drops fell on the table, and Lily frowned, frustrated with herself. Michael felt his patience slip. "Here, let me help," he said, reaching over. "Daddy, I want to try by myself," she protested, though gently. Her determination was one of the many things he admired about her. He swallowed a sigh. She had always been stubborn in a good way, always wanting to try even when it was hard. But watching her struggle made him tense. He wanted her to succeed, yet he also wanted to protect her from failure. Nearby, the young waitress returned with their drinks. She noticed Lily struggling and paused. Without a word, she leaned down and gently helped Lily position the spoon correctly. "There you go, Lily," she said softly. "Let's try a little bite together, okay?" Michael froze. He did not usually let anyone help Lily feed herself. Most people treated her like she was fragile, too delicate to touch. But this woman, Emma, as her name tag said, looked at Lily like she was a person, not a problem to fix. He watched quietly, his hands gripping the table. Lily's eyes brightened as she took the spoon with the waitress's help. A small smile appeared on her face, and for the first time that evening, Michael felt a sense of calm. "You're very good at this," he said, almost to himself. Emma glanced at him and smiled politely. "It's nothing. I just like helping." Michael studied her. There was no condescension in her eyes, no pity. Just patience and kindness. He felt a pang of guilt. How often had he forgotten what Lily really needed? How often had he been too busy with calls, meetings, and business deals to simply sit with her and help her enjoy a meal? Lily giggled as she successfully took another bite. Michael felt his heart swell. He had not heard that laugh in a while, not like this. It was pure and happy, a sound that made the stress of the day fade away, even if just for a moment. "Thank you," he said quietly to the waitress. She nodded, smiling again, then returned to the other tables. Michael leaned back in his chair and watched his daughter. She looked up at him, soup on her cheeks, eyes sparkling with delight. "Daddy, I did it," she exclaimed. "Yes, you did, baby," he said, his voice catching slightly. He reached out and brushed a stray curl from her face. For the first time in months, Michael felt something he had forgotten: hope. Not hope that money could solve everything, but hope that life could be better if he paid attention, if he noticed the small acts of kindness around him. The restaurant hummed with noise, but Michael only had eyes for Lily. He realized that no matter how busy he became, he needed to be present. He needed to see the world through her eyes, even for a few minutes each day. Tonight was only the beginning. The evening air was cool as Michael wheeled Lily toward the small restaurant exit. The streets were busy with people hurrying home, some laughing, some lost in their phones, and some simply watching the city lights flicker. Michael had his mind elsewhere, on Lily, on the brief moment of joy they had shared inside. "Daddy, can we come here again?" Lily asked, her small voice soft but hopeful. Michael hesitated. The restaurant was not fancy. It had no golden chandeliers or white-gloved waiters. But it had something else, something money could not buy: warmth. He looked down at Lily and smiled. "We'll see, baby. Maybe soon." They found a quiet spot on the sidewalk, just outside the door, where Michael could rest Lily's wheelchair for a moment. He took a deep breath and glanced back at the restaurant. Emma, the young waitress, was clearing a table nearby, her movements calm and careful. Michael watched her, noticing small details he might have missed otherwise: the way she smiled genuinely at customers, the gentle tilt of her head as she spoke, the patience in her eyes. He felt a strange tug at his chest. It was admiration, yes, but also guilt. How had he spent so long focusing only on work and forgetting how to simply care? Emma had given Lily something he had tried so many times and failed to give: attention, patience, and respect. "Daddy." Lily's hand rested lightly on his arm, pulling him back to the present. "Yes, baby." "Can she come home with us?" she asked, pointing toward Emma as she wiped a table nearby. Michael laughed softly, shaking his head. "No, sweetie. That's not possible. But we can see her again. I promise." Lily smiled, satisfied with his answer, and Michael felt a new determination rising inside him. He wanted to see Emma again, not for himself, but because he saw the way she treated Lily. That simple act of kindness had left a mark, one that Michael could not ignore. The next few days passed in a blur of work and appointments. Michael tried to focus, but his mind kept wandering back to that restaurant, to the way Emma had patiently fed Lily without condescension, to the genuine smile she had given his daughter. He found himself thinking not of business deals or stock charts, but of human kindness, the kind that could make a difference in a life like Lily's. On a quiet Friday morning, Michael decided to return to the restaurant. This time, he came with a plan, not just to eat, but to thank the waitress who had shown such care. Lily sat excitedly in her wheelchair as they entered. The smell of fresh bread and soup filled the air, and the usual chatter of the restaurant felt more comforting than ever. Emma spotted them immediately, her eyes lighting up with recognition. "Lily." "Michael. It's so good to see you again." Lily giggled and reached for Emma's hand. "Hi." Michael smiled, a warmth spreading through his chest. "I wanted to thank you properly," he said, his voice steady but soft. "The way you helped Lily, It meant a lot to both of us. Emma waved off his words modestly. It's nothing, really. I like helping. She's amazing, you know. Michael nodded. He watched as Emma guided Lily's hand toward a spoon, showing her how to hold it with just a little extra support. Lily's face lit up, and Michael felt a lump in his throat. He realized something important: people like Emma were rare. She had not done it for money or recognition. She had done it because she cared. As the meal continued, Michael observed quietly, letting Emma take the lead. He noticed her small gestures, the way she adjusted the napkin, the way she encouraged Lily to try new bites, the way she spoke directly to Lily as if she understood everything. He had been so focused on outcomes and schedules that he had almost forgotten the value of simple acts, the power of patience and presence. When the meal ended, Michael felt a surge of gratitude. Emma, would you like to join us sometimes? Maybe for a meal or a walk with Lily, he asked cautiously. Emma blinked, surprised. I'd like that, she said softly, a warm smile spreading across her face. As they left the restaurant, Michael pushed Lily's wheelchair slowly along the sidewalk. He felt lighter than he had in months, as if a small but important burden had been lifted from his heart. The city around them seemed quieter, softer, more alive. He realized that he had spent so long protecting his daughter with money and rules, but the real protection, the real love, came from care, presence, and kindness. Lily leaned toward Emma, whispering, I like her, Daddy. She's nice. Michael smiled, watching the two of them together. He had spent years building walls around himself, walls of wealth, walls of pride, but Emma had unknowingly chipped away at them, one gentle act at a time. That night, Michael lay awake, thinking of Emma's soft voice, her patient hands, the way Lily had laughed freely. He realized that he had been blind in many ways, focusing on the wrong things. True care did not come from money, titles, or control. It came from connection, from seeing the person in front of you and giving them your time, your attention, your heart. And for the first time in a long time, Michael felt a spark of hope. He did not yet know what would come next, but he knew one thing: this small act of kindness had started something new. Something that could change all their lives forever. The weekend arrived with a gentle breeze and sunlight that poured through the windows of Lily's room. Michael had taken a rare day off from work, deciding to spend it entirely with his daughter. He wheeled her around the small park near their apartment, watching her giggle as she reached toward the flowers and the pigeons that flitted nearby. Yet, even amid the beauty, Michael's mind wandered back to Emma. He thought about the way she had interacted with Lily at the restaurant. There was a lightness in her touch, a gentleness that Michael had never seen before. Not once had she spoken down to Lily or treated her like she was fragile. She had seen Lily as a person, a small human with big emotions, hopes, and dreams. That perspective, Michael realized, was rare, and he felt drawn to it. As if sensing his thoughts, Lily turned her head. Daddy, can we see her again soon? She asked, her wide eyes hopeful. Michael smiled, ruffling her hair. Yes, baby. We will. I think she might like to come by for a little visit. Lily squealed softly in delight, and Michael felt warmth bloom in his chest. He had been so focused on schedules, meetings, and deadlines that he had almost forgotten how important simple human connections were. Emma reminded him of that, in a way that no money, no gift, and no promise could. The following day, Michael called the restaurant. He asked to speak to Emma, explaining politely that he would like her to meet Lily outside the restaurant for a small visit. Emma hesitated at first but agreed, intrigued by his sincerity and genuinely touched by the fact that he had thought to include her. When Emma arrived at their apartment building, Lily was waiting eagerly by the door in her wheelchair. The moment she saw Emma, her face lit up. Emma, she called, waving her small hands. Emma smiled widely, kneeling down to Lily's level. Hi, "Lily. You look amazing today." She gently patted Lily's shoulder, and Lily leaned against her with trust that made Michael's chest ache. For the next hour, Emma played with Lily in the small living room. She guided her in simple games, read her a short story, and encouraged Lily to try feeding herself small pieces of fruit. Michael watched quietly from a distance, sipping coffee and observing. There was something in the way Emma interacted with Lily that touched him deeply. It was not just patience, it was respect, understanding, and joy in seeing Lily succeed, even in the smallest ways. At one point, Lily looked up at Michael. "Daddy, she's really nice, isn't she?" Michael nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. "Yes, baby. She really is." Emma glanced at Michael and smiled, as if noticing his admiration without judgment. "You're an amazing father too," she said softly. "Lily is lucky to have you." Michael felt a strange mixture of gratitude and embarrassment. He had always believed that providing for Lily meant giving her money, gifts, and the best education. He had thought love was shown through resources and security. But Emma reminded him that love was also in the small acts, the gentle guidance, the kind words, the patience that allowed a child to grow and flourish. As the afternoon passed, Michael found himself opening up to Emma. He shared stories of Lily's early years, the challenges he faced as a single parent, and the loneliness that often came with his wealth. Emma listened attentively, nodding and offering comforting words when needed. Michael realized how rare it was to find someone who could listen without judgment, without trying to fix things with money or advice. The bond between them grew subtly, like sunlight filtering through clouds. Lily laughed more than she had in days, reaching for Emma's hand and leaning into her guidance. Michael watched and felt a deep sense of relief. He realized that Lily was happier not because of toys or gadgets, but because she felt seen, respected, and loved in the moment. Before Emma left, Lily hugged her tightly. "Can you come back tomorrow?" she asked, her voice hopeful. Emma smiled and nodded. "I'll try my best, Lily." She turned to Michael. "It's been really nice to spend time with both of you." Michael nodded, his heart heavy and light at the same time. "Thank you, Emma. For everything. You've changed today, for both of us." As Emma walked toward the elevator, Michael realized something he had not expected. It was not just Lily who had been affected by Emma's kindness, it was him too. Watching Emma interact with his daughter had shown him a different side of life, one he had almost forgotten amid the rush of wealth and responsibilities. He felt inspired, motivated, and strangely hopeful. Later that night, as he tucked Lily into bed, Michael reflected on the day. He thought about Emma's laughter, her gentle guidance, and the way Lily's eyes sparkled when she was with her. He realized that connection, care, and empathy mattered more than anything else he had chased in life. "Daddy," Lily murmured as sleepiness took over her, "can we have Emma visit more often?" Michael kissed her forehead, feeling a resolve forming within him. "Yes, baby. We will. She's special, and so are you." Lily smiled faintly before closing her eyes, and Michael sat quietly by her side. He thought about the future, about how to balance work and parenting, and about how to keep this small flame of kindness alive. He understood now that some people enter your life and leave a mark not because they are extraordinary, but because they see what is truly important and help you see it too. For the first time in a long time, Michael did not feel alone. He had Lily, he had Emma, and he had hope, a feeling that perhaps life could be gentler, kinder, and full of moments worth remembering. It was a bright Saturday morning, and Michael Hawthorne felt an unusual calm. For once, he had left work behind and focused entirely on Lily. He had spent weeks thinking about Emma, the waitress who had shown patience and kindness to his daughter, and he knew it was time to do something that mattered. Michael wheeled Lily down the quiet streets toward the small park nearby. Lily's curly hair bounced as she laughed at the pigeons pecking at crumbs. She had that sparkle in her eyes. Michael had come to cherish the sparkle that only appeared when she felt safe and happy. "Daddy, will Emma come today?" Lily asked, her small hand brushing against his arm. Michael smiled, trying to hide the nervous excitement in his chest. "I invited her, baby. She's coming to spend some time with us." Lily's face lit up. "Yay. I can't wait." When Emma arrived a short while later, Lily squealed in delight. "Emma," she cried, reaching out eagerly. Emma knelt beside Lily, smiling warmly. "Hi, Lily. Ready for some fun?" Michael watched quietly, noticing how naturally Emma interacted with Lily. She spoke gently, guided Lily's hands with patience, and encouraged her every small effort. There was no rush, no judgment, just warmth and understanding. Watching them, Michael felt a strange mix of admiration and gratitude. After a few minutes of playful activity, Michael decided to take a small step. He had been thinking about it all week. "Emma," he said cautiously, "there's a charity event next week for children with disabilities. Lily and I will be going, and I would love it if you came. Not to work, just to be with us." Emma blinked, a bit surprised. "Really? I I'd love to, Michael. Thank you for asking." Lily clapped her hands excitedly. "You'll come, won't you?" Emma smiled at her. "I'll be there, Lily. I promise." The afternoon passed gently. Emma guided Lily through small exercises for her hands and arms, helping her practice feeding herself little bites. Michael watched quietly, sipping his coffee. Each time Lily succeeded, even in the smallest way, her face brightened, and Michael felt a warmth he had rarely experienced. Michael realized he had been so focused on providing for Lily with money and protection that he had almost forgotten the importance of simple care, patience, and love. Emma's presence allowed him to see what really mattered: Lily's happiness and growth. At one point, Lily leaned toward Emma. "I like you, Emma," she whispered shyly. Emma smiled, brushing a stray curl from Lily's face. "I like you too, Lily. You're very special." Michael felt a lump form in his throat. He realized something important: people like Emma were rare. She did not act out of obligation or for praise. She acted out of genuine kindness, and that had touched both him and Lily in ways he could not put into words. Later, as the sun began to set, Michael suggested they take a walk around the park. The warm light reflected on the paths, making the world seem soft and peaceful. Michael and Emma walked beside Lily, talking quietly. Michael found himself sharing things he had never said before about the loneliness of single parenthood, the weight of responsibilities, and the fear of failing Lily. Emma listened without judgment, her eyes filled with understanding. She offered quiet words of encouragement, never trying to fix him, but simply letting him be heard. Michael realized this was exactly what he had been missing: a connection where he could be honest and vulnerable. By the time they returned to the apartment, Michael felt a quiet excitement building. He knew this was only the beginning. Emma's presence was changing their small world, slowly and gently, showing Michael that love and care were more important than wealth, status, or perfection. Before Emma left, Lily hugged her tightly. "Come back soon," she said, her voice full of hope. Emma smiled and nodded. "I will, Lily. I'll come back." As Emma walked down the street, Michael turned to Lily. "You see, baby, there are people who make life brighter, just by being kind. Today was one of those days." Lily smiled, her small hand gripping his. "I like today, Daddy." Michael felt something he had not felt in a long time: hope. The hope that life could be better, simpler, and filled with moments of true connection. He realized that Emma had done more than help Lily. She had reminded him of the joy of small acts, the power of patience, and the importance of letting others in. That night, as Michael tucked Lily into bed, He reflected on the day. Emma's kindness had created ripples far beyond the park. It had opened Michael's heart, brought laughter to Lily, and reminded him that family could be more than blood. It could be trust, care, and connection. "Daddy," Lily murmured, already sleepy, "today was perfect." Michael kissed her forehead. "Yes, baby. It really was." He left the room quietly, closing the door gently behind him. He knew that the coming days would bring new experiences, challenges, and moments of growth. But for the first time in a long while, Michael felt ready not just to protect Lily, but to embrace life fully, with people like Emma by their side. And for the first time, he understood that some people enter your life and quietly change it forever, simply by seeing what is important and helping you see it too. The following week arrived with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Michael had signed Lily up for a local charity event for children with disabilities, and Emma had promised she would attend. For Lily, it was a day of fun, laughter, and new friends. For Michael, it was a small test of his patience and his willingness to let someone else take part in his and Lily's life. As they arrived at the community center, the place was bustling with families, volunteers, and children laughing and playing. Michael carefully guided Lily's wheelchair through the crowd, keeping a steady hand on the handles. Lily's eyes sparkled as she took in the decorations, the games, and the colorful banners. "Daddy, look. A balloon." Lily pointed at a bright red balloon floating near a table of volunteers. Michael smiled. "Yes, baby. Let's go see it after we find Emma." Soon, he spotted her. Emma was helping another child tie a ribbon to their wheelchair, her gentle voice and warm demeanor drawing smiles wherever she went. When she saw Michael and Lily, her face lit up, and she hurried over. "Hi, Lily," she called softly. "Are you ready for some fun?" Lily giggled and reached for her hand. "Yes." Michael stayed close but allowed Emma to guide Lily toward a craft table. Watching from a distance, he noticed how naturally Lily responded to Emma's encouragement. She was calmer, more confident, and genuinely happy. It was a sight that touched Michael deeply. Yet, as the day progressed, a small tension began to build inside him. He wanted to protect Lily, to ensure she was safe and never struggled. But watching Emma guide her with such care, Michael realized he had to trust her. He had to step back. It was harder than he expected. At one point, Lily tried to reach for a paintbrush across the table. Her hand shook, and the brush fell. Michael instinctively moved to grab it, but Emma gently stopped him. "Let her try, Michael. She can do it," she said softly. Michael hesitated. His heart raced. Could she really handle it? Could he let someone else help his daughter in a way he had always done himself? Emma's calm eyes met his. "I've got her, Michael. Trust me. She just needs a little encouragement." Michael swallowed and nodded, taking a step back. He watched as Lily, with Emma's guidance, picked up the brush again and painted a small stroke on her paper. A bright smile appeared on her face, and Emma clapped softly. "You did it, Lily," she exclaimed. Michael felt a lump in his throat. It was a mixture of pride, relief, and awe. He realized that letting someone else guide his daughter did not diminish his role, it enhanced it. He could watch her grow, learn, and succeed in ways he had never imagined. Later, during a quiet moment, Michael and Emma sat on a bench while Lily explored nearby with a group of children. "You know," Michael said quietly, "I've always tried to do everything myself. But, seeing you with her today, it's opened my eyes." Emma looked at him with a gentle smile. "You've done so much for her already. But sometimes, it's not about doing everything yourself. It's about letting people help, and letting her feel confident in trying new things." Michael nodded slowly. "I think I understand now. It's hard for me to let go sometimes." Emma reached out and placed a hand on his arm. "That's natural. You care deeply. But she needs to see the world, to explore, to have support from more than one person. You're not failing her by letting someone else in, you're helping her. The rest of the afternoon passed with small triumphs. Lily successfully completed a mini obstacle course with Emma's guidance, painted a colorful picture, and even shared a snack with another child. Michael cheered quietly from the sidelines, amazed at her confidence. As the event came to a close, Michael felt a sense of calm he hadn't felt in months. He realized that the real challenge wasn't the charity event or Lily's disability, it was his own fear of letting go and trusting others. Emma had helped him face that fear gently, showing him that love and care could come in many forms. Before leaving, Lily hugged Emma tightly. "Thank you for today," she whispered. Emma hugged her back. "Anytime, Lily. You're amazing." Michael watched them, feeling a sense of gratitude he could not fully express. He realized that Emma had not only helped Lily grow but had also helped him. She had taught him patience, trust, and the importance of connection. On the ride home, Lily fell asleep, her small head resting against the wheelchair. Michael glanced at Emma, who sat quietly beside him in the car. "Thank you for today," he said softly. Emma smiled. "It was my pleasure. You two are incredible." As they returned home, Michael felt a quiet determination. He knew that life would continue to bring challenges, but he now understood something important: he didn't have to face everything alone. With people like Emma by his side, and with his own willingness to trust and let go, he could give Lily more than just money or protection. He could give her love, joy, and confidence. That night, as Michael tucked Lily into bed, he whispered, "Today was a big step, baby. You did amazing." Lily yawned and smiled sleepily. "We did it together, Daddy." Michael kissed her forehead, feeling hope and peace. For the first time in a long while, he felt ready for the next steps in their lives, steps that would bring growth, love, and connection in ways he had never imagined. The following week, Michael found himself thinking more about Emma than he expected. It wasn't a romantic thought, at least, not yet. It was the realization that she had become more than just a friendly presence in their lives. She had become someone Lily trusted completely, someone who understood the challenges Michael faced as a single father, and someone who could help bring joy into their daily lives. Saturday morning arrived with a soft drizzle, and Michael decided it was time to take a step he had been considering for days. He wheeled Lily toward the park again, but this time, he had a plan. "Lily," he said gently, "today we're going to ask Emma to spend more time with us. Would you like that?" Lily's face brightened instantly. "Yes. Can she play with me every day?" Michael laughed softly. "Maybe not every day, baby, but we'll see what she can do." When Emma arrived, Lily ran to her with open arms. "Emma, we need your help today," she exclaimed. Emma smiled warmly. "Of course, Lily. What are we doing?" Michael took a deep breath. "Emma, you've been such a big help to Lily, and I think it would be wonderful if you could spend more time with us. Not just during meals or outings, but maybe even come by regularly, if you're willing. You've already changed our lives in small ways. I think, with your help, we could make a bigger difference for Lily." Emma looked at him, surprised but moved. "Michael. I don't know what to say. I've only ever done what felt right, and I didn't expect." She paused, smiling softly. "I'd be happy to help. I really care about Lily, and I like spending time with you both." Lily jumped with excitement. "Yay. Thank you, Emma." The morning passed with laughter, crafts, and games. Michael watched Emma guide Lily with patient hands and gentle encouragement. He realized that letting Emma play a bigger role in their lives was not about needing help, it was about giving Lily more opportunities to grow, explore, and feel confident. At one point, Lily tried to navigate a small ramp in the park. Her hands shook on the wheelchair handles, and she looked uncertain. Michael instinctively moved to help, but Emma gently stopped him. "Let her try, Michael. She can do it." Michael hesitated but stepped back, watching closely. Lily took a deep breath, pushed herself forward, and reached the top of the ramp. Her face lit up with pride, and Emma clapped softly. "You did it, Lily!" Emma exclaimed. Michael felt a lump in his throat. It was a small victory, but it meant more than words could express. He realized that trust in someone else, trust in Lily's abilities was a gift he could give. And Emma had shown him how to give it. After the park, they returned home, and Michael suggested a simple activity at the apartment, painting together. Emma helped Lily pick colors and guided her tiny hands across the canvas, showing her that mistakes were part of the process, not failures. Michael joined in too, laughing as paint splattered across the paper, on Lily's hands, and even on Emma's apron. "You're getting better at this, Lily," Emma said warmly. "Look at those colors. Beautiful." Lily giggled, looking proud. "I did it." Michael watched quietly, his heart full. He realized that Emma's presence allowed him to relax, to enjoy these moments without worry or fear. She brought balance into their lives, care, patience, and joy. That evening, after Emma left, Michael tucked Lily into bed. "Daddy, today was amazing," Lily said sleepily. Michael kissed her forehead. "Yes, baby. And tomorrow, it can be even better. We have someone who cares about us, and that makes everything easier and happier." He closed the door quietly and leaned against it for a moment. Life had changed in subtle ways over the past few weeks. Emma's presence had introduced laughter, patience, and warmth into their small family. She had given Lily confidence, and she had reminded Michael what it meant to trust, to care, and to be present. Michael realized that this was more than just help, it was a transformation. With Emma by their side, life felt fuller, brighter, and more hopeful. He knew that challenges would still come, but now they had a new kind of support, someone who truly understood, who loved with patience and respect, and who would stand beside them through both small victories and bigger struggles. As he turned off the lights in Lily's room and watched her breathe peacefully, Michael felt a quiet gratitude. He had opened a door, one that led to growth, joy, and connection. And he knew that letting Emma into their lives fully was one of the best decisions he had ever made. For the first time in a long time, Michael felt completely at peace. He had Lily, he had hope, and he had someone who could help him build a brighter, happier world for the two of them. And that was more valuable than anything money could buy. The weekend had arrived again, bringing with it a bright, sunny morning. Michael woke early, feeling a sense of excitement he hadn't experienced in years. Today was special, not for work, not for meetings, but for Lily and Emma. The bond they had developed over the past weeks had grown stronger, and Michael could feel the warmth of a future filled with hope. He carefully wheeled Lily to the living room, where a small breakfast of pancakes and fruit was ready. Lily's eyes sparkled as she noticed a small bouquet of flowers on the table, a surprise from Emma. "Look, Daddy. Emma brought flowers," Lily exclaimed, reaching for them eagerly. Michael smiled, feeling a gentle tug at his heart. "She did, baby. Isn't that nice?" As if on cue, the doorbell rang. Emma stood there, holding another small bouquet and a box of Lily's favorite treats. Her smile was warm and genuine, and Michael felt the familiar calm settle in his chest. "Good morning, Lily," Emma said cheerfully. "I thought we could have a fun day together." Lily clapped her hands with joy. "Yay! Can we go to the park?" Michael nodded. "Of course, baby. Let's go." When they arrived at the park, it was busier than usual. Children laughed, dogs ran, and the sounds of the city mixed with the soft rustling of leaves. But for Lily, the world felt safe and magical because Emma was there. She guided Lily gently through a small obstacle course, encouraged her to try new activities, and celebrated every small success. Michael watched quietly, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Emma's presence had changed their lives, not with money or gifts, but with patience, care, and attention. Lily was happier, more confident, and more willing to explore her world. And Michael realized he had grown too. He had learned to trust, to step back, and to allow others into their lives. At one point, Lily stopped and looked at Michael. "Daddy, I think today is perfect," she said softly. Michael's chest warmed at her words. "Yes, baby. It really is." Emma knelt beside Lily and whispered, "You've grown so much, Lily. I'm so proud of you." Lily hugged her tightly. "Thank you, Emma." The afternoon passed with laughter, games, and small adventures. They shared ice cream, painted a colorful picture together, and even tried a small swing in the playground. Every moment felt like a treasure, a memory being built with love and care. As the sun began to set, they decided to sit on a bench by the small pond. The reflection of the evening sky shimmered on the water, and the soft chirping of birds filled the air. Michael looked at Emma and felt a deep gratitude he couldn't fully express in words. "Emma," he said softly, "thank you for everything you've done. For Lily, for me. You've changed our lives in ways I never expected." Emma smiled gently. "Michael, you've done so much already. You love Lily with all your heart. I'm just here to help. And I care about both of you. It's that simple." Michael nodded, feeling a quiet peace. He realized that love didn't always come with grand gestures. Sometimes, it was the small moments, the patience, the guidance, and the genuine care that made the biggest difference. Lily leaned against Emma and whispered, "I love you, Emma." Emma's eyes softened, and she hugged Lily. "I love you too, Lily. Always." Michael felt a lump in his throat. This bond, this connection, was something far greater than he had ever imagined. It wasn't just about helping Lily, it was about building a family of trust, care, and love. As they headed home, Michael reflected on the journey they had all taken. From that first evening in the small restaurant, watching Emma feed Lily with such patience and kindness, to today, where laughter, trust, and love filled their lives, so much had changed. He realized that wealth, titles, and control had never been the things that truly mattered. What mattered was presence, patience, understanding, and the courage to let others into your heart. Emma had given them all of that and more. That night, as Michael tucked Lily into bed, she smiled sleepily. "Daddy, today was the best day ever." Michael kissed her forehead gently. "Yes, baby. And tomorrow, we'll make more memories like this." After Lily fell asleep, Michael sat quietly in the living room, thinking about Emma. He knew that the days ahead would bring challenges, they always did, but now they had something stronger than fear or worry. They had trust, love, and a connection that could carry them through anything. Emma joined him, sitting beside him silently for a moment. Michael reached for her hand, and she held it gently. There were no words needed, they understood each other. They had built something meaningful together, a family not defined by circumstance, but by choice, care, and love. Michael looked at the city outside their window, the lights twinkling like tiny stars. He felt a quiet gratitude for the journey they had taken. He had started as a single father, trying to do everything alone, and now he had someone who could help him, someone who loved his daughter, and someone who had become a true part of their lives. "This is just the beginning," Michael whispered, more to himself than anyone else. "A new beginning, for all of us." Emma smiled and leaned her head on his shoulder. "Yes. The beginning of something beautiful." Michael nodded, feeling a warmth in his heart he had never felt before. Together, they had created a life filled with care, laughter, and hope. Lily's happiness had become the light that guided them all, and Emma's kindness had woven them into a family stronger than any challenge the world could throw at them. And in that quiet moment, Michael understood something profound: sometimes, it takes just one person's kindness to change everything. And sometimes, that change leads to a life far brighter than you could ever imagine. They sat together in silence, watching the night fall, ready to face tomorrow together.